Cruising during hurricane season can bring on a whole different set of issues. And in the before times, I cruised frequently in hurricane season, but it does require a level of flexibility, and it also requires that you kind of keep an eye on the weather and the ports. So cruising in the Caribbean or visiting the Caribbean islands, here's some suggestions for you. I'm Charlene of IslandJumper.travel, and this is Tuesday Tea Talks, where I kind of go over the news of the Caribbean and cruising that I've heard through going to travel agent seminars and also just general experience. So if you are cruising during hurricane season, you will need to keep an eye on the weather, especially about a week out. Start keeping an eye and see if there is a hurricane going to either one of the places that you're going to go or the places you're going to sail from, probably Florida or Texas. Oftentimes, if there's a storm headed for that area at a time when you're going to fly, a lot of airlines will let you adjust your air dates for no charge. And I've done this twice, once for a hurricane and once for a winter storm. The airline that I used sent me an email, said you can change your days because it's not likely that you're going to fly on the day that you have your flight booked, and I took advantage of that and went to my destinations a little bit early, a day early, so I could get in front of the storms and be where I needed to be to start my cruise. Actually, by times it was a cruise. So keep this in mind. Also, if, say, the ship is due to dock the day that maybe a storm is going to hit an area, they may choose to keep that ship out for like another day to avoid the storms. So it could adjust the next sailing and then the sailing that you're on. So that causes a big ripple effect for people having to adjust their flights, and people coming in might need to have somewhere to stay so that they can wait for the ship to actually get going. They try to get things back online as fast as they can because obviously this is how cruise lines make money, so it's important to them to get things going as fast as possible, but they're also going to be as safe as possible, and they don't want to damage their employees, their ships, or their guests, which is us. So keep an eye out for that. Keep a close eye, especially when you're getting in that 5-day window. The website, like NOAA website, is really good. It starts giving a pretty good predictor. So if there's stuff that looks like it's going to hit one of the areas you want to visit, just keep an eye on that, and be ready to kind of jump to a different itinerary. So, you know, the cruise lines always say they don't guarantee the itineraries. They really try to keep those, but sometimes they can't due to various reasons. And one of the reasons is the storms coming in. They might choose to go to a different port, and a lot of times they just get those ships out of the path of the hurricane, so it can cause them to, you know, kind of go to different places, but they still know that you want to visit places and still enjoy your vacation, so they'll try to accommodate for that. Hurricane season requires you to be a little bit flexible in case there's storms coming to the area that you are leaving from or are going to visit. In other cruise news, things are kind of ramping back up. There was some one of the Disney ships like canceled, but just for a little bit, and changed some itinerary links a bit, and then the ship, the celebrity ship that's coming from St. Martin, is going to go into quarantine for like 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and then they'll start sailing from Florida. So that's pretty good. Everything's kind of going good. Everybody's kind of gotten off. Norwegian is sailing, Princess is sailing, Royal Caribbean sailing, Celebrity, of course, is sailing, Carnival is off, so MCS is back. I watched a really great video from Ben and David on the P&O Iona new ship, so that's very exciting, and it was beautiful. So if you're not a fan of them, I would say get them on your subscribe list because they are awesome to follow, and always have some really great information. So in general, the cruising world and the Caribbean is looking better. They're still changing a lot of the requirements. Some of the islands are requiring that everyone be vaccinated if they're over 12. Some are okay with it not being, so just you're gonna need to check for your specific cruise line and particular islands to see what the rules are. Some require one test over another, some require masks for everyone, some only require them for people that are not vaccinated. There's a million different combinations right now. A lot of the cruise lines, though, I think except for NCL, are actually having you take a test before you start within a certain date range of before you sail, and it has to be a particular kind, and they can be different based on your vaccination and based on the different cruise lines. So you want to get specifically the kind of test they're asking for and get that done in the timeline that they're wanting you to do that, so that you don't mess up your sailing. And keep alert for those websites, because this stuff is kind of changing, and they are sending emails out to guests as they change. But if you don't have an email on that's updated with them, then you might be missing it. It could be going to your spam folder, or you could think it's just junk mail and they're just sending you sales or something. So if you're getting like a month or so away from a sailing, definitely pay attention to the cruise line emails that you're getting, because it may look like a sales email, but it may actually be something that's giving you really specific information that you need. So look alive, because there's been some disappointments where people have not met requirements and not taken the test, so they couldn't get on board. Some people didn't meet the vaccine requirements, so they couldn't get on board. So there's just a bunch of yuckiness going on. So make sure that that's not you. Check with your cruise line or your travel agent and be sure of what you're doing. And especially as you get closer, you're going to want to know what's going on. But other than that, things are kind of looking up in the Caribbean and for cruise lines. So hopefully we can keep from having a bad hurricane season, and all will be well. So until next time, live your truth and live well.